Joanne Capel lives next door and heard the gunshots.
I didn't get the phone in time. I looked up, she texted me. Call the police, he's shooting.
She said one of the victims inside the house actually reached out to her for help before she died, but it was sadly too late.
And I'm kind of upset that even though I called the police, I still couldn't help her. That was the sweetest lady you ever want to meet.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Crime Journal. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the case.
It's unspeakable what had happened. Just tragic event here on Easter Resurrection Sunday.
It would be the early morning of Easter 2023. Orlando Police Department would be dispatched to 614 Grand Street in reference to a domestic violence call. When police would arrive on scene, they would hear gunshots coming from inside the home. LaCorvis Daly would then come out of the home firing at officers. Officers would return fire, striking Daly. He was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced deceased. When officers walked into the home, they would discover one adult and two children suffering from gunshot wounds. The youngest child would be rushed to the hospital where he would be pronounced deceased. A teenage girl and an older woman would be found deceased upon arrival. Police would identify the victims as 7-year-old Cameron Bowie, 13-year-old Damiana Reed, and 69-year-old Carol Fulmore. Police would say that Bowie would be Daly's son. Reed and Fulmore were the daughter and mother of Daly's girlfriend who was not present at the home during the time of the shooting. The officers that were involved in the shooting were not injured and are on paid administrative leave. If you or anyone you know needs help in a domestic violence situation, please don't hesitate to call the hotline at 1-800-799-7233.
They didn't only hurt them, they hurt the whole family.
This grandmother doesn't want to show her face, but she does want to share her message that enough is enough.
If you got beef or whatever they call it with other people, you don't have to kill them.
It would be later that night, around 6:50 p.m., and the Orlando Police Department would be dispatched to another report of a shooting at Poppy Park. Police would arrive to see 5 people who were suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. 3 of the victims have sadly succumbed to their injuries. Police would identify them as 16-year-old Tristan Morgan, 33-year-old Patricia Dieterville, and 38-year-old Jamal Watson. Another adult victim remains in critical condition as another victim suffered from non-life-threatening injuries. A deflated bounce house and broken open plastic Easter eggs was all that was left at the crime scene. There are evidence markers just outside the fence of the playground. The park would be filled with lots of kids and families. There were a lot of bystanders, and then people would just start shooting, a grandmother would say. 2 of the 5 victims were not attending the gathering being held at Poppy Park. Orlando police state they are still trying to figure out the motive in this shooting.
Shooting that left 2 people dead and 3 others hurt on Easter night. The victims were all found just before 7 last night in the area of Poppy Park off of Lescott Lane in the Carver Shores neighborhood of Orlando. News 6's Ezzy Castro spoke to the aunt of one of the victims who says her niece, a mother of 4, was just sitting on a porch when she was shot.
That shooting happened in this neighborhood right in front of Poppy Park. We actually spoke to the aunt of one of the victims. She says her niece was sitting outside when she was shot and killed. This was the scene last night near Poppy Park on Lescott Lane. An Easter Sunday turned tragic after Orlando police say 5 people were shot. 2 of them were killed. News 6 spoke to one of the victim's family members. She says her niece, who goes by Pat, was sitting outside her grandmother's porch when a bullet hit her. Sadly, she didn't make it. We're told Pat was a mother of 4 who just had a newborn a few weeks ago. Now her family is trying to figure out what to do and are demanding answers.
I would like to find justice for my niece. Everyone who saw who did it, please go report it to the police, to the news, everywhere. She's too young. She's too young.